Shabbat Shalom, friends. My name is David Vaisberg. I am the senior rabbi at Temple Ben Abraham in Livingston, and I am pleased to offer a teaching for Parashat Pinchas. We often like to think that in Judaism there is an ideal way of being that is peaceful, that is where we are amicable, where we are connecting with others and just embodying goodness. And indeed, those are ideals that we should achieve. And we also understand that many other emotions have their place. We know that we are not always supposed to be pacifist, that there are times that call for fighting, and likewise, while it would be great if we could always be calm, there are times where we need to be angry. The Musa tradition, which is effectively the Jewish self-help tradition of becoming better people who are embodying the emotional and personal examples set throughout the Torah and from God, the Musa tradition offers us different emotions, different behaviors that we ought to take from the Parshiot. And Rabbi Pamela Wax makes the argument that Parashat Pinchas gives us a few examples of how we ought to deal with anger. There are in fact several examples of anger. We get religious anger from Pinchas himself. We know that he commits an act of violence when he sees something terrible going on at the end of last week's Parsha. And that the Torah tells us, and the commentators, that this was good anger, not necessarily in carrying out violence with it, but because his intentions were pure. And that is why some commentators tell us he was gifted the priesthood and a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace. We see just anger used for just reasons when the daughters of Zelophehad go and argue their case, suggesting that there's discrimination against them because they are women and are not able to carry on their father's legacy and name. And so through approaching Moses, channeling their anger for just means and through good argument, they are able to achieve good results. At the same time, the Parsha also reminds us of Moses' anger at Meribah, where that anger was misplaced, where he used that anger to essentially attack others and to effectively give God a bad name in front of the Israelites. And for that, we see that Moses has to do tshuva. He has to resign himself to the reality that he will now not be able to go into the promised land. And we see that acceptance through Moses saying, okay, well then please give us a successor for me so that there is someone to lead the people to the promised land. So we learn that anger and the actions that follow may have a place if it is for justice and if it is with pure intent. However, we also see that anger does not have a place if it is simply us reacting to circumstances and not necessarily thinking through the implications. And so there we have it. Every emotion has its place. It's just a matter of how we use it. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.